What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Manchester United in action in the Premier League Matchday 26 up against West Ham United at the London Stadium. 8:15 p.m. kickoff tomorrow, and manager of West Ham is Nuno Espirito Santo. So earlier on in the season, unfortunately, Manchester United did draw 1-1 at Old Trafford, and Dalot scored for United, but then Magassa equalised for West Ham, and it was 2 points dropped at home at Old Trafford against a poor West Ham side. And you know, we've got a couple of really poor draws in the Premier League under Ruben Amorim, and that's really kind of hampered us in terms of not just obviously cementing our place in the top four, but also had them draws been converted into wins, we would most definitely be in a title race right now. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. In terms of some insights for the match, West Ham have won each of their last 3 home league games against Manchester United, last having a longer run between 1974 and 1977, which was 4. Manchester United have lost 4 of their last 6 Premier League games against West Ham, winning 1 and drawing 1, more than they had in their previous 28, in that which was winning 19, drawing 6 and losing 3. West Ham did the double over Manchester United last season and drew 1-1 at Old Trafford in the reverse fixture earlier on this season. Only once have they avoided defeat in both league meetings with the Red Devils in consecutive campaigns, doing so in 1932-33 and in 1933-34. West Ham have lost 3 of their last 15 midweek Premier League home games, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, winning 5 and drawing 7, though one of these was their most recent against Nottingham Forest in January. And Manchester United have won just 1 of their last 9 midweek away games, which is played on a Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday. Away games in the Premier League, drawing 3 and losing 5, are on a winless in 5, drawing 1, and a winless in 5, drawing 1 and losing 4 in obviously midweek games since a 4-3 win at Wolves in February 2024. So it's in terms of midweek games for Manchester United, it's not looking too good. We've not had decent form in midweek games, but hopefully we can improve against West Ham tomorrow. In terms of West Ham's recent form, if we have a look at that, we speak a little bit about that a little bit. West Ham are coming away with a decent 2-0 win against Burnley. They were unlucky to not get anything against Chelsea, where they lost 3-2. They had a man sent off, but they were leading 2-0 at Stamford Bridge, so a little bit unlucky that they got nothing from that game. But before that, they did manage to beat Sunderland 3-1, and they beat Tottenham as well 2-1 away from home. They obviously got past QPR in the FA Cup third round, something that United unfortunately didn't manage to do, and that's why we've got no game on the weekend. And then they lost to Forest. They lost to Wolves as well, which was a poor loss, and then they drew to Brighton as well. So West Ham have won 3 of their last 4 Premier League matches after winning 3 in their previous 21. And recently, of course, like I mentioned, they beat Burnley, Sunderland, and Tottenham as well, and they were unlucky not to get anything from the Chelsea game because they were leading 2-0. So yeah, in terms of West Ham's team news, Todibo is suspended after he got sent off against Chelsea, so they are without him. In terms of West Ham's starting lineup, this is how I think they're going to line up. I think they're going to be lining up in that 4-2-3-1 formation with Hermansen in net, Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Disasi and Diouf making up the back 4, Potts and Souček making up the 2 central defensive midfielders, Bowen, Fernandes, Somerville making up the front 3 in behind Castellanos. So that's how I think West Ham are going to be lining up. So in terms of how do West Ham like to play, in possession in the attacking phase, number 1, deep build up and midfield drop. West Ham often build from the back with midfielders, with Fernandes dropping between the centre backs to help. Sometimes it's Fernandes or Souček to help progress, dropping in between the centre backs to help progression and linking play forward with progressive passing rather than direct long balls. Number two, flexible shape with fullback support. Fullbacks push high to support attacks and provide width, allowing wingers to either cut inside or occupy half spaces depending on the phase. And number three, counter attacks and exploiting transition. A key focus is hitting teams quickly on the break. In inviting opponents to commit players forward and exploiting space in behind, particularly using pacey players like Bowen or Somerville. Number four, direct vertical progression. Once the ball is won or in deeper possession, West Ham look to progress quickly, vertically, few sideways passes and more passes or carries, and more forward passes or carries, especially from attacking midfielders. Number five, set play variations and wide entry. So Nuno has experimented with set pieces and short corners and short corner patterns to create chances from delivery and overloads, adding to the attacking unpredictability. So if you remember correctly, during that 1-1 draw earlier on in the season against West Ham at Old Trafford, West Ham did score from a corner from Magassa. So it's poor defending by United that we couldn't kind of defend from the set piece properly, and West Ham escaped Old Trafford with a point, which was a really poor result from us. But yeah, in terms of defending without possession, number one, mid low block and deep defensive shape. West Ham under Nuno are more compact and sit deeper than the Potter era, often staying in a mid block intended to invite pressure and reduce space between the lines. Number two, structured press in phases. Instead of an intense high press, the Hammers press selectively, particularly in central midfield, trying to force opponents wide or towards predictable outlets where pressure can be applied first. Number three, front two press coordination. The front two players work in tandem, one pressing the centre back in possession to force play sideways, the other shadow marking the pivot to limit easy central passes. Number four, defensive and midfield protection. A pivot of midfielders is tasked with covering transitions and protecting the defence, aiming to win possession in favourable areas and trigger counterattacks. And number five, compact lines and narrow shape. The defensive block narrows between the lines to protect central spaces, shrink gaps for opponents to play through, and make progression harder. This also aims to invite wide targeting before regaining shape centrally. So in terms of West Ham's star man, I'm gonna have to say it's Gerard Bowen. He has scored 8 goals and provided 2 assists in 25 Premier League matches so far. Very dangerous player and can create something out of nothing. Bowen has scored 3 goals in his last 5 Premier League games against Manchester United, while no Hammers player has scored more against the Red Devils in the competition than the West Ham captain. So Gerard Bowen, really dangerous player to be looking out for tomorrow. Not only that, but Somerville as well, who's dangerous on the break. He's a tricky player. Souček as well. If we can't win the midfield battle against Souček and Potts, then it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. Hopefully Casemiro and Mainu can get the better of the likes of Souček and Potts. I think it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. But yeah, in terms of Manchester United's last match against Tottenham Hotspur, we won 2-0 at Old Trafford, which is a really good performance and result. Obviously a clean sheet as well. United were compact and organised, especially centrally, limiting Spurs' ability to play through the middle and forcing them wide to lower attacks. United didn't just dominate chances, but were ruthless when openings came. Efficient finishing made the difference rather than sustained pressure. It was a strong defensive performance from United as well. The backline stayed narrow and composed, dealing well with the crosses and second balls while cutting off central runners effectively. Obviously, we coming away with a clean sheet, which was decent as well. Game management after going ahead. Once 1-0 up, United slowed the tempo, recycled possession smartly, and denied Spurs any momentum, seeing the match out with relative comfort. And number 5, finally, we limited Spurs' chances. We limited Spurs to just 2 shots in the second half, and neither of them was on target. United had 72% possession in the second half, and it was relatively comfortable for us, and it should have been a higher scoreline in my opinion, considering that we had 23 shots with 10 of them on target. So we definitely should have scored more. And, I think against Manchester City, we were unlucky to be only coming away with the 2-0 scoreline. Against Manchester City, against at Old Trafford, it could have been 5-6 or 7-0, because we had 3 offside goals and twice we hit the woodwork as well. So, and the offside goals were marginal, basically. Really tight offside calls. Had them 3 offside goals gone in, and then had we not hit the woodwork and had the shots on target, that's 5 extra goals. Had they all gone in on another day, we could have beaten City 7-0, and we should have. And we need to be dispatching teams, especially lower sides like the likes of Spurs and West Ham and stuff. Like, we need to be dispatching them comfortably, with relative ease, with a high scoreline as well. Goal difference could be key also in deciding whether we finish inside the top 4 as well. So yeah, in terms of Manchester United team use for this match, we obviously Delit, Xerxes and Dogu are all out with long-term injuries. So my Manchester United 11 is this. It's basically the same lineup that has started the previous 2 matches. So Lemons in net, of course, Dalot, Maguire, Martinez and Shaw making up the back 4, Casemiro and Menu as the 2 central defensive midfielders, then a front 3 of Ahmad, Bruno Fernandes and Cunha in behind Bryan Mbeumo. So that's my United starting 11. It's the same as the previous 2 matches. Not expecting any changes from Michael Carrick. If it's not broke, don't fix it. There's no need to change anything. Sesko, of course, is a little bit unfortunate to be missing out in the starting 11. He scored against Fulham with the winner, which was a really well taken goal to grab the 3 points at the end. And then, of course, against Tottenham, he missed the header. He had the header on target in the 95th minute or whatever, but he should have scored from that chance, in my opinion. And then Bruno Fernandes comes away with another assist. But yeah, hopefully, Bruno Fernandes can kind of be coming away with a couple more assists against West Ham tomorrow. In terms of Manchester United star man, I'm going to have to say it is Bruno Fernandes again. I think he is performing really well at the moment in terms of, I think Bruno Fernandes' stats. Let me just take a look at something. Bruno Fernandes has been involved in 8 goals in his last 8 away Premier League appearances, 2 goals and 8 assists. So he's on fine away form. He's on fine form at the moment as well. So hopefully he can continue. So of course, for me, he is going to be Manchester United star man. He's our best player and he's created the most chances for us this season. Bruno Fernandes, despite being injured, has still created the most chances in the Premier League and is leading the assists with 12 assists as well. And he's up there in terms of chance creation. He's probably, arguably right now, the most informed player in the league, probably the best player in the league right now. I'm not sure anyone that gets kind of close to him right now. So in my opinion, he probably is the best player in the Premier League at this moment in time. But he's certainly putting up the numbers in terms of chances creation. Let me just take a look at most chances created in the Premier League, like I do previously. Let me just see. So Bruno Fernandes is leading he's leading the Premier League by quite a lot in terms of chances creation. Still 74 chances created in the Premier League right now. So the next person is Declan Rice with 47. So, and obviously Bruno Fernandes, for the half of the season, he was basically playing as a defensive midfielder. Now he's been released into this into his favoured number 10 position, and he's still putting up the numbers. He was putting up the numbers playing in the central defensive midfield position, and he's still putting up the numbers playing further forward. So in terms of assists, of course, he still has 12 assists because he didn't grab an assist against Spurs. Benjamin Sesko should have scored that goal at the end to give Bruno Fernandes another assist. Obviously, from the corner, he played a part in that set piece routine that Bryan Mbeumo scored against Spurs. But obviously, he doesn't come away with the assist for that. But yeah, hopefully Bruno Fernandes can kind of come away with more assists. I think that he is our best player, most informed player, and hopefully he can perform tomorrow. In terms of how do you beat West Ham, number one, attack the space in behind the fullbacks. West Ham under Nuno sit compact and invite pressure, but the fullbacks step up, step high in transition. United should hit early diagonals and quick switches to release wide runners, especially on turnovers. Win second balls and dominate transitions. This is the key battle. West Ham are at their most dangerous after regains. United need aggressive counter-pressing and midfield runners ready to sweep up loose balls and stop counter-attacks at source. Number 3, move the ball quickly through midfield. Slow circulation, plays into West Ham's mid-low block. 1 and 2 touch passing, third man runs and vertical passes between the lines can pull their midfield shape apart. Number 4, be ruthless from limited chances. West Ham are comfortable conceding territory but not goals. United won't get many clear openings. Efficiency in the box, first shot quality, rebounds, set pieces will decide the game. And number 5, stay compact once ahead. If United score first, they must resist overcommitting. A controlled mid-block, narrow defensive spacing and smart game management will frustrate West Ham and limit counter-attacking chaos. So if Manchester United score the first goal, I think it will be really comfortable. However, if West Ham score, I think it's going to be a tough game to kind of get back into. And obviously, another thing I've not mentioned is clean sheet. We've struggled defensively all season. However, under Carrick, we have recently improved with clean sheets against Man City and Spurs. Overall, we've got 4 clean sheets all season against Sunderland, Newcastle, Manchester City and Spurs. West Ham do have some dangerous players who can hurt us on the break with the likes of Somerville and Gerard Bowen and obviously Fernandes as well. But yeah, we have to be careful of the West Ham counter-attack. Hopefully, I'm expecting Manchester United to dominate possession. Hopefully, we can dominate the chances as well, dominate the game. We need to assert ourselves onto West Ham because West Ham are a poor side. They're in 18th position or something. And, they're in a relegation fight. So hopefully we can kind of assert our dominance on the game and come away with a win and get 5 wins in a row, get that lad that haircut that he so badly needs. But yeah, I can't believe it's been so long since we've had five consecutive wins in a row. But yeah, in terms of the league table, let's take a quick look at the league table. So let me just pull that up for you now. So this is the Premier League table right now. We are in 4th position. We are only 3 points behind Aston Villa, who did drop points against Bournemouth on the weekend. That was a disappointing draw for Villa. They're losing pace in the title race. Not that I thought that Villa were going to win the league. Obviously, out of Arsenal, City and Villa, I would obviously have Aston Villa winning the league. But we are only 3 points behind Aston Villa. Personally, I don't think we are in a title race. I think it's between Arsenal and Manchester City, or it's Arsenal's to lose, in my opinion. Arsenal, they have to be winning the league this season because everyone else has dropped off. City aren't what they were. Liverpool are nowhere near it. Chelsea aren't in it. We're not in it either. Aston Villa have dropped off as well. So I think it's Arsenal's to lose. But it would be so funny if they bottle it from here, and I would be laughing so hard, if Arsenal were to bottle the league from here. But yeah, it's Arsenal's league to lose. I don't think we are in the title race. I think we're in a top 4 race, and we need to cement our place inside the top 4. In terms of if we were to win, we would move to 47 points. We would move into 3rd place because Aston Villa do play the day after on the 11th. So they play on Wednesday, we're playing tomorrow. So we would move into 3rd place, which is absolutely insane to think that, where we were under Ruben Amorim, in the likes of 6th, 7th, 8th or whatever, and now we possibly moving into 3rd in the Premier League with a win against West Ham tomorrow. It's absolutely insane with how far in terms of how well Carrick has done, how we're progressing under Michael Carrick, and long may it continue. Personally, if it continues and we do finish inside the top 4, I would give Carrick the full-time job. I think he deserves it if he were to finish inside the top 4. And, I think finishing 4th I think Carrick gets a job, but anything above fourth is a bonus. If we were to finish third or second, I think that I think Manchester City are catchable. I don't think we're going to be winning the league. Of course, we're not in a title race. I think we are in a top four race. Liverpool dropped points against Manchester City with that loss, so Liverpool are kind of falling away. Chelsea have 4 wins in a row as well, so they are hot on our tail as well, Chelsea. So hopefully we can kind of pick up 3 points against West Ham. In terms of West Ham are 18th in the league, and it's really unfortunate that we gave West Ham a point at Old Trafford last time around, which was a poor draw in my opinion. And in my opinion, we've got too many draws in the Premier League, and had them draws been converted into wins, we would definitely be in a title race. When I look at the points dropped, I'm looking at points against. Let me just pull up the old calculator. So we dropped points against. These are all the draws that we've had this season. Obviously, we've had eight draws, but recently we had a draw against Fulham at the start of the season, which I'm not going to really count. But the draw against Wolves, which was a poor draw at Old Trafford, we were 1-1 draw against Wolves. Anyway, these draws against these bottom sides, which we shouldn't be happening. We should be comfortably beating these sides, because I think we have a squad. We have a better squad. We have a better team. We should be comfortably beating these sides and coming away with all 3 points in these games. But unfortunately, we didn't, and that's why we are not in a title race. I think Ruben Amorim kind of cost us in terms of not being in a title race this season. So dropped points against Wolves. 2 points dropped there. Draw against Wolves, Burnley, West Ham, Forest, Leeds, Tottenham, Bournemouth, and then 3 points dropped against 10-man Everton as well. All really criminal results, in my opinion, and results which we should have been coming away with wins. So if you count up the points, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 14 with that 4-4 draw against Bournemouth at home. That's 14 points so far, and then add the 3 for the 3 points dropped at Fulham. The 3 points dropped against Everton at home. That's a total of 17 points. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Add the 3, 17 points dropped, which really we should be in games that were winnable games, draws, and that loss against 10-man Everton, which we should have been beating them sides. With that 17 points, 44 add the 17, we would be on 61 points, 5 points clear of Arsenal at the top of the league had we won them games. And that just goes to show that how kind of unfortunate this season has been in terms of the amount of draws that we've had, and of course the points dropped against 10-man Everton as well. I think on another season we would most likely be in a title race, but unfortunately we are not right now. We are not in a title race. We are in a top 4 race, and like I said, hopefully we can come away with a win. West Ham with a win would move to 26 points. Obviously depending on goal difference, they would leapfrog Nottingham Forest, but hopefully we can come away with the win. I've predicted losses in my previous 4 matches that United have all won, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict a loss again, hoping that we come away with the win, because we've not been performing well against West Ham in our recent head-to-head. So West Ham have won 3 of their last 4 matches. West Ham have won 3 of the last 4 matches, while United are unbeaten in 8. However, our recent kind of head-to-head against West Ham isn't too great. If I was to have a look at our head-to-head, obviously they did the double over us last season, but they've been doing well against us at the London Stadium. So hopefully we can come away with a win at the London Stadium tomorrow against West Ham. I think our last win against West Ham at the London Stadium in the Premier League was in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I can see here anyway on FootMob. Let me just make sure that is the case. Let me just go to home, and then let me have a look at the results. Our last win, Yeah, so our last win against West Ham at the London Stadium was in 2021. This is the 19th of September 2021. United won 2-1 against West Ham at the London Stadium, and that was the last time that we won at the London Stadium against West Ham in the Premier League. So, we've not beaten West Ham at the London Stadium in so long, and but yeah, personally, I'm gonna predict a loss. Simply because I've predicted 4 losses and we've come away with wins. So I'm gonna predict another loss again. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 West Ham United win with Bruno Fernandes scoring for United and then Bowen and Somerville scoring for West Ham. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we come away with all 3 points and hopefully we get that man a haircut that he so badly needs. Anyway, hopefully I'm proven wrong and hopefully Man United come away with all 3 points. Also, just the last kind of thing that I'm going to say, United have lost 4 of their last 6 Premier League games against West Ham, winning 1 and drawing 1, more than they had in their previous 28, which was winning 19, drawing 6 and losing 3. So yeah, it's not looking good in terms of recent head-to-head for Manchester United against West Ham. Hopefully we can come away with the win tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to predict a loss, 2-1 West Ham win, with Bruno Fernandes scoring for United, Bowen and Somerville scoring for West Ham United. But hopefully I'm proven wrong and hopefully Manchester United can come away with all 3 points. Anyway, I've been yapping on for quite long now. I'm going to end it here. If you enjoyed this preview, leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you after the match.